At the top of a hill surrounded by dense forest stood an old villa, long abandoned. The locals called it Villa Bukit Lindu, a place shrouded in mystery and fear. Legends told of a tragic fire that claimed the lives of the wealthy family who once lived there. Since then, the villa had been left to decay, but stories of footsteps, cries, and mysterious knocking in the dead of night persisted. Despite these tales, groups of thrill-seekers would occasionally venture into the villa, daring to spend a night there. One such group was a group of college students determined to test their courage. The group consisted of 5 friends: Rama, Dito, Nia, Sinta, and Aji. None of them believed in ghosts, dismissing the stories as mere superstition. That night, the group arrived at Villa Bukit Lindu after an exhausting hour-long trek up the hill. The villa stood tall and imposing, its walls covered in moss, its windows shattered, and its doors creaking ominously. "Wow, this is straight out of a horror movie," Dito joked nervously, though his unease was evident. They carried flashlights, food, and a camera to document their experience. After exploring the villa, they settled in the living room. The room was filled with old furniture, a worn-out sofa, a dusty wooden table, and a large mirror in the corner that was clouded with grime. "So, what's the plan? Sit here until morning?" Aji asked. Rama, the leader of the group, replied, "We stay here until 3 a.m. If anything happens, we record it. If not, then we'll just call it a fun trip." They all laughed nervously, trying to mask their growing unease. At 11 p.m., boredom began to set in. Dito, who was sitting near a window, suddenly froze. He heard something strange, a soft knock, like someone tapping on the glass. "Did you hear that?" he asked, his voice trembling. Everyone fell silent, straining to listen. But there was nothing. "You're imagining things, Dito," Sinta said with a nervous laugh. But then the sound came again, louder this time. Knock, knock, knock. It was unmistakable, coming from the window behind Dito. Everyone turned toward the sound. What made it chilling was that the window was tightly sealed and covered in thick dust. It was impossible for anyone to be outside, especially since they were on the second floor. "Who's out there?" Rama yelled as he approached the window. Pulling back the curtain, he found nothing. Only the pitch-black night greeted him. "Maybe it's just the wind or something," Aji said, trying to calm the group. But the tension in the room was palpable. By 1 a.m., the atmosphere grew heavier. The air inside the villa felt colder, as if an unseen presence had filled the room. Sinta, sitting near the large mirror, started to feel uneasy. She thought she saw a shadow moving within the glass, even though no one was standing in front of it. "Nia, do you see that?" she whispered, pointing at the mirror. Nia shone her flashlight at the mirror, but saw nothing unusual. However, a moment later, they all heard a new sound, a faint crying, echoing from the upper floor. "Stop messing around, this isn't funny," Dito said, his voice shaking. "We're not joking," Rama replied grimly. They decided to investigate. The wooden stairs creaked under their weight as they ascended. The crying grew louder, leading them to a slightly ajar door. With trembling hands, Rama pushed the door open. The room inside was empty except for an old rocking chair in the center. The chair moved back and forth on its own, as if someone invisible was sitting there. Panicked, the group tried to leave, but the door slammed shut behind them, trapping them inside. The knocking returned, this time louder and more frantic. It wasn't just one window. Every window in the room seemed to vibrate with the sound. Dito screamed, "We have to get out of here now." As they struggled with the door, the rocking chair suddenly stopped moving. In the corner of the room, a shadowy figure emerged on the wall. It was the silhouette of a woman with long hair, standing still. Yet, when they looked at the corner itself, there was no one there. "Don't look back," Aji whispered to the others, his voice barely audible. But Dito couldn't resist. He turned to face the corner, and his face instantly went pale. His eyes widened in terror, and he began to scream uncontrollably, as though he had seen something beyond comprehension. The group eventually escaped the villa at dawn, shaken and terrified. However, Dito was never the same again. He muttered endlessly about the woman he saw, though no one else had seen her. The villa remained standing, a silent witness to the horrors within, and the mysterious knocking on the sealed windows continued to haunt those who dared to return. Was the knocking a warning, or was something inside the villa trying to escape? To this day, no one knows for sure.